Hello everyone and welcome back to Southern Wealth. I hope you guys had a very good week. So I'm back in the castle. My little period of traveling is now over. I'll be traveling again between 9 and 11 of April. I'll probably record on these molds, without the mask, etc. Because I need to take planes, and so it's always a bit difficult. But after that, after 9 to 11 April, I only have 2 travels in May, one in June, and then one in August. So I'll be able to be here on a more consistent basis. About my recovery from surgery, next week, Saturday, I should be at 100%, full outfit, back in my normal setup. And for those of you who have asked, I will actually have a microphone installed, so hopefully the quality of the sound will improve. And at the same time, I was debating about getting a microphone a while ago, but I thought, okay, if I manage to get to 1,150 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing, with a terrible setup and a terrible sound quality, then I have the real ones with me, and I have the real people, that really enjoy the content, and they're not here for the clickbait and the smoke and mirrors and all of this stuff. But today's going to be a very important video, in my opinion. First of all, guys, please like and subscribe. As you guys know, that's the only thing that I ask of you. Something that, it's basically 2 clicks and you don't pay anything for it. And other than that, I don't ask anything, okay? But only do it if you do enjoy the content, okay? If you don't do it. I think I need to feel that I deserve something, basically. Now, crypto at the moment, because I think it's the most important thing to focus. Stocks, they are doing the same thing but let's start a little bit with it. So I've told you in the beginning of the year, tune out the noise, pay attention if the Fed is signaling stopping QT. The rate cuts will come after, but bear in mind something. Rate cuts are a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Everyone will price in the amount of cuts. So when they actually happen, you're probably going to see sell-offs. Don't take for 3 to 6 months, okay? Because people always get, but does that mean that, rate cuts is actually bearish for stocks? In the very short term, yes. In the longer term, no, because that's what's called debasement of currency, in which you don't have inflation in the supermarket when you go buy Coca-Cola, for example, but you will have inflation in asset prices. And that is debasing your currency. So I've given this example. I think it's very clear. Everybody understands. In the 60s, in the US, 2 average yearly salaries would buy you an average house. And now you need 10 yearly average salaries to buy an average house. So that's the price you pay for all that financial engineering. In any case, let's focus on crypto a little bit. We're close to $70,000. I still think the most likely scenario, and this is very important for people to understand. This is my most probable scenario at this particular moment, which is the Bitcoin halving will happen over the next 20 or 21 days, okay? I think we're probably gonna spike up into Bitcoin $80,000. And then we're gonna sell off. By the way, that spike to 80K will make people feel that we are comfortably above the all-time high of 69,000, and people will be convinced that is nothing but green pastures after that. If we hit 80,000, as I'm expecting, before the halving, so between now and 22 days, I do think we're gonna see the classic 38% sell-off that we have after the Bitcoin halving. So every Bitcoin halving, 2012, drop of 38%. 2016, drop of 39%. 2020, drop of 38%. I think we're gonna drop 38%, and if we touch 80K and we drop 38%, 39%, it will put us somewhere between the 48 and 52,000, which is exactly the first breakout area that we had. So basically, we would be closing that gap, retesting it, very bullish, and then we can go up into the real bull run phase. Now, because now I need to paraphrase this, I need to mention this very clearly because people always get this confused. Am I advising you to go and trade this scenario? No. Who makes money in crypto? I've said this 1,000 times, I'll tell it 1,001. Founders of coins and exchanges and buyers and holders make money. Traders get wrecked. Oh, but I know this trader that made... Okay, fine. You know 1 out of 1,000 or 1 out of 1,000,000. If you want to play the game of 1 out of 1,000,000, fine. I mean, to me, it's very clear. How many crypto millionaires there are? Many. How many crypto millionaire traders are? Very few. So if you wanna play that game where the vast majority loses and loses completely, and the very, very tiny minority wins big, if you wanna play that game, be my guest. It's up to you. It's your money. You are all grown adults. Who am I to tell you anything? Now, what I try to do with these things is, because I'm already seeing this. People are trying to convince me that Bitcoin halving will somehow be a by the rumor, by the news event. And I've said this many times before. If that happens, and I'm not saying it won't happen, it can happen, sure, anything can happen. We need to understand that you're betting for something that has never happened in history, in any market, to happen. Now, if you want to play that game and that bet, up to you. I mean, it's really up to you. If you want to make that bet that this time is going to be different for the first time in history, we're going to have a by the rumor, by the news event, like everybody is aware of the halving, but somehow people will wait until the halving happen, which is, by the way, a mathematical fact. It's not even a probability. There's no decision making by a company. There's no voting. There's no electoral college. There's nothing. It's just basically on a certain block, on a certain day, the inflation of Bitcoin will get cut in half. If you want to bet that everyone is going to wait for that mathematical fact to actually happen, so then they can buy more, sure. I mean, up to you guys. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Who knows? I just say that that scenario would make a lot of sense to me, which is Bitcoin ramps into the 80K mark. Everybody gets convinced. I mean, when I say 80K, by the way, if it's 81K or if it's 79K, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I'm giving you like a round number, right? I'm not telling you, oh, it's going to be at 80K and $55. No, I mean, 80K, around that, okay? Plus, minus 3%, whatever. I would say that what seems likely to me is we spike into the 80K mark. Everybody gets excited. There you go. We have a confirmation of a new all-time high, and boom, you sell off from there. That I would see, and you have your normal Bitcoin halving sell-off, and that would bring you into the gap up that we had and the breakout that we had at 50K, 48, 50, 52K. Once again, please don't quote me to the last dollar. I know that last time around, people asked me during the Bitcoin ETF. I was at, when the you may recall, when the Bitcoin, and I was saying this for months, when the Bitcoin ETF gets approved, you're going to see a spike. And when it actually starts trading, you're going to see a sell the news event. What happened? Bitcoin spiked to 49K, and then we sold off to 38K. I was in a live stream. Bitcoin was around 46K, and somebody asked me, hey, Southern Malt, where do you think Bitcoin's going to go? And I say 38K should hold. We hit 37,995. So I guess I was wrong for $5. And then we went straight up and never looked back. Now, how long did that sell-off take? About 3 weeks. How long does the sell-off in Bitcoin halving tends to take? Between 1 month to 2 months, depend a little bit on the cycle. Maybe with the buying pressure of the ETFs, maybe with the extra knowledge on the cycle, maybe we sell off another 3 weeks and we don't sell off 1 month and a half. Am I saying that people should trade this? No. What I do, and this is me, you guys do whatever you want about yourselves, is if I know or if I believe that there's a very high probability that an event like this is going to happen, I prefer to keep some dry powder to take that advantage to accumulate to my current positions. That is me. Why do I do that? What if I'm wrong and we sell off a little bit later, a little bit early, or what if we sell off less than I'm expecting, or what if the sell-off just doesn't happen and we have a buy the rumor, buy the news event for the first time? Why would I take that risk? If I believe that by 2025 something's going to happen, why would I take that view? Why would I take that risk? To me, it makes no sense. Once again, I'd be trading, traders get annihilated, okay? Now, about the left translated cycle, which basically the idea is we're gonna pump so hard in 2024 that 2025 we don't see a top. And somebody asked me, what is the likelihood of that happening? What is the likelihood of that happening? And my answer is less and less likely. Why? Because more and more people are believing it. So the more people have a consensus opinion that we're going to have a left translated cycle, basically that means it won't happen. Why? Because everyone will try to front run it, and then you just need a few whales to start buying all that crazy selling before it's time, and then people will FOMO right at the end saying, oh my God, I fell for this narrative and now I'm screwed. So the answer to that question, in my view, it is once again, just my opinion, is something to this nature. The more people believe that that's going to happen, the more it becomes consensus, the more likely it's not going to happen. So for example, that was also my key take on something. Last cycle, what was the consensus? Bitcoin was going to hit 100K, so we didn't hit it. But in the beginning of that cycle, most people forget, people were thinking that Bitcoin would get to 40 to 50K max. So that's how you go to 69K, because people were thinking we're going to stop at 50K, and we didn't. And then 100K becomes the consensus trade, so we stop at 70K. What is the consensus trade for Bitcoin at the moment? 150K. What does that mean? That means that we're either going to stop at 100 or we're going to go up to 240 or something. Why does that happen? Because if people believe we're going to stop at 150K, they sell at 100K. So they front run it. Why would we go above 240? Why would we go above 200K, for example? If people believe that Bitcoin is going to go to 300K, that's how you go to 240. You see what I mean? So the consensus trade will never happen, because either people will undershoot it to front run it, or they will overshoot it because they have a price target of 500,000 to 1 million, 300K, 350K. So then you can stop at 240K. For the time being, I like the number 240K. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm not setting it in stone. I'm more concerned about timing than price at this moment. Now, I've actually accumulated quite a bit of Pulsechain and Pulsex again. The sentiment is extremely low in both those projects, although they're all part of the Richard Hart ecosystem. So in that sense, this is what I was looking for, as a last buying opportunity, which was I would really like to see Pulse getting close to the one sacrifice price, which is where we are. So I was happy to once again go heavier with bigger clips. I see sentiment very low, which is also appealing to me, and I see people stressing out and getting angry and all of this kind of stuff, which is also stuff that I also like. And we should start seeing some developments over the next 2 to 6 months. So literally up until September. Now, if people ask me, okay, but when will you get concerned about lack of price movement, blah, 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 will you ever get concerned? So first of all, I already have lottery tickets in place, like you guys know, like Pulse Launch, like Gophers, like Pikamoon, each of them doing extremely well, that basically at this rate will probably make me get out all my principal, meaning that I will be in the complete position of risk-free situation, which is something that I also aspire to be. Number two is I would be concerned if by, let's say, June, we are still trading sideways, going nowhere, or even down. That I would start to get concerned. and that I will probably adjust, I'll probably get out of at least half of my position and shift it to cycle one narratives and probably get my money over there. Now, to me, Pulsechain and Pulsex are, when I call them retirement coins, is because although they are cycle 2 narratives and cycle 1 coins, they do have a lot of characteristics that I've explored ad nauseum that makes me like it and makes me attribute a good probability of success with, virtually no risk of getting rug pulled. For example, in a new project, you always have the risk of the whole thing just going completely to zero, and we're starting to see a lot of rug pulls out there. So that's the risk of cycle 1 coins, because you don't have the time to actually do proper due diligence, and you are, hoping a little bit for the best, if you know what I mean. You're just kind of hoping that things will turn out okay, but I don't feel that's responsible to do with my retirement packs. So that's why I had more faith on this ecosystem. And then I am looking at particular fractals, at particular timelines, and I don't get too confused about too much noise. I buy when it feels sad, I buy when people are angry, I buy when we are in lower prices than everybody expected. Number 3, if you guys remember, I've been putting my cost average in the videos with Pulsechain and Pulsex in the past, and I'm pretty much up almost 300% on Pulsex, and I'm up about 200% on Pulsechain, which means that I'm already okay. So if I would need to, why? Because I bought really in the big depression when the SEC was coming after Richard, when all of these things were happening right in the blood of the bear market, and I've reduced my cost average to such a degree that I'm already doing fine as it is right now. Now, am I here to just do fine? Of course not. The point being, this is why I accumulated so heavily in the bear market. Why? Because I can be wrong. I'm not perfect. At the moment, I'm actually adding to my position because I actually like what I'm seeing from a sentiment perspective, and I do have still a lot of faith in it, and I don't get too downtrended by momentarily price loss. And I just find it funny. There was a point where Solana was down 97% and people just declare it completely dead. That was it. It was finished. Filled with VCs that just sell off the price at any pump. It's always down the chain, operationally garbage. You don't have garbage projects, blah, blah, blah. Nowadays, there's more volume than Ethereum. It is what it is. You need that level of sentiment. You need to see the people completely desperate before you can really move along. And that's what I'm waiting for. But of course, I'm also not, as you guys know, I'm not a fanatic. I'm not an ideologue. I'm not a crazy person. I also have certain timelines in my mind that will start making me concerned, and I do have some strategies in place to mitigate some of that risk. And of course, I've accumulated so much during the bear market. I'm already, 300% up on PulseX, 200% on Pulse. I mean, if I have a 2x from here, I will already be fine. But if that happens, what I'll probably do is take out half of my position in Pulsechain and PulseX, get away with all my principal out. So then every single coin that I have, lottery tickets, core coins, etc., all become risk-free. And then I will probably go for a few lottery plays in order, and a few cycle 1 coins in order to make me enjoy still the big bull market, in case I was completely wrong about this ecosystem. I don't think I am, but I'm not perfect. But I do enjoy the blood in the water. That is the type of thing that I like to buy, and that's what I've basically focused myself into buying when that is happening. Once again, am I advising you to buy these coins? No, I'm answering some of the questions that I get in the comments, and I'm telling you what I am doing. Not to copy trade me, not to follow. That's why I don't have a trading group. That's why I don't have a private membership group where I disclose my trades to the audience. No, I am just telling you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. That's it. as I've always done. So thank you very much, guys, for your time. And once again, just one more week of this setup, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you very much, guys.